Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here and welcome to another video today. Today, I'm going to be teaching you guys which type of players you want to have in each position. So basically, we've been doing these kind of videos since FIFA 15. I believe we did one last year, so I forgot to do one this year. Normally, when it comes to these type of videos, I usually like to show the 4-1-2-2 bracket 2 to show the best example because it kind of puts all the players in the positions that they need to be, except for the right mid, left wing, and right wing. Reason being is because I don't really like using players that wide in the last, I would say, like 2-3 years of FIFA, so that's why I really show those ones. But I'm going to show you guys the example of the formation that I have and the type of players that I use in each position. So here's an example of what I use, guys. So for this formation, this is the 4-1-2-2 bracket 2 formation. I'm going to tell you guys exactly which type of players you want in each position. Now, again, with the teams that you make, you got to make it to the best of your ability because everybody's going to depend on each position on whether or not they're going to be good or bad, right? So you want to try to get every position on the field to be good. Don't ever have one or two players that you don't necessarily like that much just to be in your team just because of the sake that they have chemistry. So try your best to get chemistry within the team. Normally what I do is I start off this team with a 4-3-2-1 and then go 4-1-2-2 in game just so I can keep the chemistry on. So with the fullbacks, you like to have your fullbacks on high, medium, high. Medium high would even be really nice, but high medium seems to work really decently. I would say medium high would definitely be the preferred one to definitely have. But with the fullbacks, it's very difficult to get work rates like high or medium high because all the good fullbacks are basically high medium. So those are the type of players you want in that position. If you can get height with your fullbacks, that would definitely be helpful, but you just want players on the left back and right back position to be good in the pace, defending, and physical department because if your player is fast, like you see Kyle Walker is here, with 81 physical, he absolutely bullies people off the ball. Like if you go up against people like Gareth Bale and Ronaldo, he can actually do a good job against them. I have Alaba in this team, and the reason being, again, and like I mentioned earlier, is because you have to try your best to make a team that can have chemistry with other players in your squad, but that it can also be good. If I was going to get an actual left back, you know, it could have potentially been someone like Roberto Carlos or someone if I had the money to, because he would basically be something similar to a Kyle Walker. Maybe even Alexandro would be better than Alaba, maybe even Luke Shaw. But in terms of the chemistry and the players that I have on my team, I had to work with Alaba. And again, he's not a bad player to have because he does have a 4-star weak foot. And with the plus quote-unquote 3 pace upgrade definitely makes him feel a little bit more faster. But again, Kyle Walker is kind of like the pure definition of what you'd like, you know. Alaba is also 5'11", so the height is pretty decent if you want to jump for the ball in the air. A very solid player to have. If you can get that weak foot to be good, it would definitely be solid. Marcelo is also a very good option. If you can get something to work with Marcelo, that'd be very good as well. Like if you get like a legend center back and then left center mid, maybe a Modric or something, that would be pretty decent. For your center backs, you always want them to be medium high, low high. That's the only ones that I would recommend. I don't recommend using high medium center backs. Reason being is because they just push out a little bit too much, you know, and it just doesn't work out. It's not something that I enjoy looking at. Like I've used a Team of the Year Ramos, and if I had a Chris Smalling in my way, I would still choose the Chris Smalling over the Team of the Year Ramos, just because of work rates alone. And Chris Smalling is like one of the best center backs in the game, to be fair. Here's one thing that I might actually change around with this team. I do want the center backs to have the same work rates. I absolutely adore using Barzagli and Chiellini, which is in this squad right here. I'm going to show you guys right now. This squad right here, I use Chiellini and Barzagli. They both have low-high work rates, right? With low-high work rates, they move a lot. Oh, well, I'm not going to say a lot better. They move better, right? Their movement off the ball is just better. It feels better because their work rates are similar to each other. So they just move up and down the pitch really nicely, which is something I really do like. So try to get center backs that have the same type of work rates. Obviously, you want your center backs to be tall. You don't want small center backs. Like, you know, you can use players like Cannavaro, but I haven't seen one person use Cannavaro this year yet because people know that, you know, his height is definitely going to hinder the person's performance. But, you know, you definitely want center backs that are tall. You got Boateng, who's 6'4", Chris Smalling, who is 6'4". So that's why I'm using them right now, because they just have that height advantage that definitely helps out. With the CDM role, this one depends on the type of player that you get. Now, as far as I'm concerned with FIFA right now, the best type of players you can get are Conte, Patrick Vieira, even a Matic. A Matic would be pretty decent as well. With the CDM, you want them to be medium high. There is just no other option. I feel like personally, I've seen people who are good players rock high medium and high work rates, but I feel like it needs to be medium high for CDM. So again, it's not just for this formation, guys. It's even if I was using like a 4-2-3-1 wide, I would still use the CDM to be medium high work rates. Like if I had a 4-2-3-1 formation, I would use Conte and Patrick Vieira because they're both medium high and they're fantastic defensively. Patrick Vieira is probably the best CDM you could possibly get. If you guys are on PlayStation, it'd basically be like Conte or Matic. But Patrick Vieira is definitely very helpful. You guys are going to see Ronaldo Sanchez here. I might actually change Ronaldo Sanchez out and try to get someone who's good with their weak foot as well as being good at everything else. Like for instance, let me see who the example is here. Brozovic. So Brozovic is basically good at everything. And I gave him a shadow card because his physical is already pretty decent. If I give him a shadow card, it improves his defending and his pace. So it kind of makes him a very stable player that's good at everything that he does. So I absolutely love using this with the Brozovic card. It's very fun to use because he just feels like the perfect type of player to use. Obviously, he doesn't have the skill moves, but the 4-star weak foot definitely helps. Work rates wise for the center mids, this year is a little bit different. I would say that you don't want to use players that are high and medium work rates, but it depends on the player, right? If you can get a player like POGBA, right, who can attack and defend really well. He has 72 defending. I might even put a shadow card on him instead of a hunter card. The only reason I put the hunter card is because he shoots quite a bit for my team, so that's why I kind of gave him the hunter card. But defending right now, he's pretty decent at, so I might not give him a shadow card at all. But as of right now, I absolutely like love using him there. He's probably the best right center mid in the game for me, so that's why I enjoy using him so much there. Ronaldo Sanchez is good, but he's got high work rates, which is what you definitely need. The thing is that his shooting, passing, and his, defending isn't up there with the rest of the pace and the physical. He's overpowered though, for sure, but he's not the quality what you need if you want to be a little bit more specific with your squad. If I want to be a little bit more specific, in this position, I might put someone similar to Brozovic who's basically good at everything, kind of like Pogba is, right? Pogba's basically good at everything. If you slap a shadow or a hunter card on them, they're even better, right? Reason why I stopped at Pogba with a hunter card was because his shooting is 80, whereas Brozovic has 87 shooting, so that's why I kind of need to put it on Pogba instead of Brozovic. But yeah, you definitely want high work rates. If you can get tall players is very needed in FIFA. But again, everything is situational. It depends on the team that you make. If you can get a tall player that's actually agile and moves quickly on the ball, that is the best thing possible. But the thing is that it's very hard to come by that. Like right now, it's Ronaldo. Ronaldo's like one of the few players that can actually do that, and that's why he's such a good player, right? But yeah, your center mids, medium high, medium, depending on the stats that they have. If they have a good solid base card stats with the pace, shooting, defending. Basically the four mains, or even everything, just even the defending. The defending is really important that people never really look at, because your midfield, the majority of the times they have to defend, right? So it's good to have a player that can defend and attack really nicely. That's the most important thing. Don't only focus on one thing with your midfield. Focus on more than one thing. That's why you never see me use players like Iniesta in my midfield. Like, I'm not going to use him as a right center mid, because yeah, he's good on the ball, but he's absolutely terrible defending wise. You know, he's not helpful at all when he's going back back to the defensive line. So that's why I don't use players like Iniesta in those situations. The cams are very difficult to come by. So you guys see how I switched to the 4-1-2-2 bracket 2 in game. What I do is I go 4-3-2-1 and then put the cam that I want to use on the side. So for instance, I use George Best as a right forward, which I'll show you guys right here. I use George Best as a right forward, and then in game I switch him to a cam just so I can get the chemistry right. Ideally, you want your cam to have 4-star, and be good at the four main stats, which is the pace, shooting, passing, and dribbling, which George Best is good at. For me, he is the best quote-unquote cam in the game, which is why I use him in that position. He's just a very solid card, you know? But if you're rocking a team like a BPL team, I would highly suggest using players like Willian or Royce or Messi. They make fantastic cams. I would much rather prefer a Willian. Willian is fantastic. You can rock high, medium, or high. It's high, medium, or what was the other one? It was high, medium, and high that I like to use as the cam. I don't like medium high. I don't like high low. High low feels very awkward, but again, it depends on your playstyle. I like to have the cam to be high, medium. George Best, I feel like has to be the only exception with the medium, which is the same thing with Royce. Like Royce is an exception because I'm pretty sure Royce is medium as well, and George Best is an exception. But again, it thoroughly depends the type of player that you have. Like George Best is incredible in all the 4 different stats, and he runs like a god. So that's why I enjoy using him so much as a cam. Some suggestions I could give you guys is, again, Messi, Royce, George Best, and, you know, players like an informed Willian. Mkhitaryan would be very good at cam because Mkhitaryan has a 5-star weak foot and then the 4-star skill moves, you know. Stuff like that's really important. The 4-star aspect is really important for your cam because they will be making passes with their weak foot, as well as shooting, as well as running, because you have to basically have your cam be your striker. So you need to be smart and have all 4 stats be good. So that's why I like using George Best so much. Griezmann is a very interesting topic to talk about because Griezmann, he doesn't have the 4-star weak foot, nor is he tall. But the thing about Griezmann is that he is so fantastic on his left foot that it almost seems like those kind of things are irrelevant, even though they are very much relevant. You know, you definitely want to, improve your team if you can, right? But Griezmann's left foot finishing is so good that I can't take him out. Even though physically he's not the best player to have, his aggression is pretty decent. He doesn't have I don't think he actually has a good aggression stat, but he's pretty aggressive towards getting the ball back, which is a characteristic I like about him. So that's why I like using Griezmann so much. His left foot finishing and his shooting with his left foot is amazing. His right foot, not so much. So if he's attacking on the right side, he might not be able to do that good of a job shooting across goal with his right foot. So if you can get a 4-star, 4-star, 5-star, 4-star, 5-star, 5-star as your striker, that would definitely be more preferable, depending on the player. Like, I would still choose Griezmann over Neymar because Griezmann actually feels like a striker. Neymar kind of feels like a striker, but more of a winger, right? So that's why I like using Griezmann so much as a striker. You know, your strikers need to have high, medium. You can try medium. That really depends. Again, you want the player to be tall, but if they can't, like Griezmann, you rock the 5'9". But his left foot is, for me, the best left foot in the game in terms of finishing. So that's why I absolutely love using Griezmann. But high, medium, high, low would definitely be the most preferred to have. Again, you can try medium, but I wouldn't highly recommend it because then they won't make those runs behind the defense that you want them to make. Ronaldo, I can't really say anything about Ronaldo. He's literally, for me, the perfect player. He's like meta, you know what I mean? Like, meta is basically the type of stuff you use in a video game to help you the best way possible, right? Ronaldo is good in the 5 important stats that you need for you to be a good striker. He's got the 5-star skill moves, so the McGeady spins are beautiful. 4-star weak foot, so he actually takes really solid shots with his left foot. There's nothing else I need to say about Ronaldo. Ronaldo's absolutely amazing. He's the best card in the game for me as a striker. Like, he's the type of player that you have in your team that if you don't have in your team, you're missing out, right? That's the type of player that Ronaldo is for me. A lot of people actually don't like him, but for me personally, I do like Ronaldo a lot in this game. So those are the type of strikers I use, and you can also see Ronaldo's also on high, low, and then Griezmann's on high, medium. So those are the type of work rates you want. Again, with each position, you got to be a little bit peculiar. Oh, and we also almost forgot about the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper is pretty typical. Try to get long throw on the goalkeeper. You want him to be tall. I think the general goalies that are just good in this game are goalies like De Gea, Butland, Handanovic is pretty nice. Buffon is decent, depending. So he's kind of situational. Like, he kind of makes a little bit too many mistakes, but that's just the goalies in general in this game. But De Gea, for me, I think is the best goalie in this game. I think he makes the most incredible saves because his reflexes are really good. Sometimes he kind of parries the ball away a little bit too much, but he's an absolutely solid goalkeeper. But yeah, guys, those are the players that I use in each position. I would say it's pretty similar to the last 3 years. If you guys have watched the videos in FIFA 15 and 16, I'm pretty sure I explained the exact same things that I explained in this video today. So it's kind of like just the way the game mechanics have rocked. I think the only difference is that height and physicality has become more apparent this year, and it's a lot more important. So that's why I would recommend those type of players in each position for the defenders, midfielders, and the forwards. It's just you know, it depends on what you want. You know, I have a team over here with it's like a Serie A team, but I will tell you guys a good example, right? So in this team, pretend I rock the 4-1-2-2 with this team, right? João Mario would be the CDM, Nagler on the right side, Brozovic on the left side. I think everything from the midfield to the bottom is beautiful, right? But if I wanted to be a little bit more specific with this team, I would probably put in a Vieira and a George Best, right? And then these two I would have to figure something out and maybe change them. The reason why is because Higuain is 84 pace, and he's really tubby in this game. Like, he's really good at finishing, and he's really good at shooting, but because of my playstyle, I need to have someone like Griezmann, like Ronaldo, someone who can be quick on the ball, you know, react quickly. 4-star skills is a massive thing for me on the striker, so him not having 4-star skills is definitely annoying. PERISIC is actually really nice. Don't get me wrong about PERISIC. He's actually a fantastic cam, because you can see he has the 5 main stats that makes him really good. 5-star weekly with 4-star skills. This is a fantastic player to use. I actually use him as a cam when I have Salah and João Mario in the team, so he's actually really good. But if I wanted to be more specific with this team, I would put George Best in to be my cam. Striker, I'd probably try to fit in Ronaldo. Like, even if I had to sub him on, I would try to fit in Ronaldo, and then even in Perisic's position, I'd put Griezmann, just to be a little bit more specific with the squad. But I think this team is a little more advanced in terms of what would be nice specifically in your squad, right? Just take out the Higuain and Perisic and then put Ronaldo and Griezmann, and then that would be the best thing. So if we were to put Ronaldo and Griezmann right now, Ronaldo would be right here, and then Griezmann would be right in the striker role. If anything, I can actually do this and then get 7 chemistry on Ronaldo. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Again, this is the squad that I'm rocking in my team. If I were to be a little bit more specific, I would have the Griezmann, Ronaldo, George Best as the cam, and basically play with this squad. It would actually be really solid. Even if Brozovic got a chemistry, he would still be an amazing player to have. So this is the best type of balance you'd like. I'm pretty sure Alexander's high as well. Yeah, so this team is really good. These are the type of players that you'd like in your squad. I hope you guys did enjoy this video today. If you guys did, please drop a thumbs up on it, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.